Any holiday weekend plans that you might have. May need to make some that include trying to keep yourself a little bit cooler. Today, not as big of an issue because temperatures will be down and a little bit more seasonable for where we should be for this time of the year. But as we said, we're dodging still a few of those showers across the area. Once that clears out, it does give us a pretty nice stretch headed into tomorrow. And of course, that's eventually going to be kind of the trend that we get to enjoy once we get to the middle part of the work week. We're tracking two different fronts, so to speak. The actual cold front has already pushed through, but there's a secondary boundary that sits just off to our northwest. You can actually see a little bit of this light showery activity developing out over the lake. That eventually becomes a secondary opportunity to pick up on a couple showers, maybe an isolated storm as we go into this afternoon. But I think for the most part, any storm activity will be extremely isolated, and it should just really be a day that we're just kind of trying to clear out some of these showers that we have out there now. Right now, some of the heaviest of the rain across southern Wayne County, south of the Worcester area, just north of Millersburg. It extends out towards parts of Tuscarawas County as well as Stark County. So if you're traveling south, I-77, even parts of I-71, just be mindful. You may have to have those windshield wipers going from time to time. But the more you're up closer to the lake shore, the more we're starting to see this activity subside. And that is good news for us because eventually it does give us a pretty nice forecast as we head into the rest of this afternoon with temperatures warming from the mid-70s now back into the 80s. Traffic monitor, that would be awesome because we are going to be trending towards a little bit drier weather. That's first of all the good news for us, but also a little bit quieter weather as we approach the middle part of the work week. We're not going to be dealing with as much rain across our area, which is good news for us. So that is eventually going to be the trend here, at least over the next couple of hours. If we can put Weather One in this back monitor, it helps with the time cues here, especially on our timestamp. There you go. You can see live Doppler radar. You notice we've seen some of these showers that have been rolling through over the last couple of hours, and largely it's been pretty light rain, though I will say down towards Tuscarawas County, a little bit more of a steadier downpour if you're headed down 77 closer to I-70. Maybe you're beginning some of those holiday travel plans. Just be mindful that you will run into a decent batch of some showers, but at least in the short term, it's going to be a relatively quick forecast to get some of that rain out of here and eventually transition towards some drier weather. Temperatures, if you're stepping out late this morning, mid to the upper 70s, just depending on where you're at. We're starting to see some of those upper 70s out towards Sandusky. That's eventually going to be the trend, that we start to slowly work out some of this rain, some of this cloud cover, and it eventually allows our temperature to rebound. So your future view for the rest of the day today does feature, at least within the next couple of hours, some of these showers still lingering, especially across our southeastern counties. But outside of that, I really don't see an appreciable rain opportunity for us outside of just an isolated shower or an isolated thunderstorm then headed into this evening as this last little boundary starts to clear out of here and it eventually allows us to start to dry out our skies a little bit more and bring back a little bit more of that late day sunshine. But you'll see temperatures, they are headed back for the 80s. We'll talk about how long those last before the 90s return coming up here in just a few minutes.